Good morning, guys. It is Thursday and we have another day of reading for you. So let's dive on in with our vocab word of the day, which is survival. Go ahead, pause the video to know it. Tell the definition to somebody in your family or at your house. Show it, act it out, and connect it. Give an example of survival. Think back to your science class with adaptations. That might help you with your examples. So pause the video here. Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be focusing on making connections between two texts. During the week, you read the journey migration stories, and today you're going to read another text, The Grasshopper and the Ant. And we're going to be making connections between those two texts. So a text-to-text connection is a connection between two different stories or books in a series. Can be a connection between the plots, characters, settings, genres, themes, or problems. And today we're going to be taking a look at a connection between problems in both of these texts. So let's go ahead and move forward and read what our task is today. Our task today is to compare and contrast the grasshoppers in the two selections. We've already read one this week, and then we're going to read another together right now. What problem do the grasshoppers share in both selections? What do they do about this problem? Use text evidence to write a paragraph about how the grasshoppers are alike and different. Hey, since we've already read one of the texts, how about we start a pre-writing chart for that one together? Turn the page in your remote learning packet and you'll see this graphic organizer. Right now we're going to focus on the grasshoppers and the journey since we've already read that text. Go ahead and pause the video here, go back to the text, and see if you can describe some traits of the grasshopper in that text. I'll go ahead and wait for you guys and go over it with you. All right, welcome back. So let's take a look at what you wrote. You should have something along the lines of describing their physical traits. That the grasshoppers are light green, but they can change to dark yellow or red. They have wings and can fly, and they're loud because of the billions of wings. And that they have a big appetite. Now see if you can go back to the text and describe to me the problem that they face. Okay, think about that. Go ahead and pause the video. Welcome back, guys. If you wrote that there's too many grasshoppers being born at once and there's not enough food for them all, then you are correct. Now go ahead and tell me what's the solution to this problem. I'll go ahead and wait for you guys. All right, so that's right. If you wrote that the solution to their problem is that they migrated to search for food after adapting and growing wings, then you're correct. Now that we got half of our pre-writing chart done, let's go ahead and read the next text. And it should be the next page in your remote learning packet. The Grasshopper and the Ant. So this is a fable. It's a short story with a character, and it's an animal that behaves like a person and they learn a lesson. So it's not a true story, obviously, because the animal character is acting like a human, but the life lesson is a good one. So let's go ahead and read. Grasshopper loved to sing and play his fiddle. He played quiet songs and thunderous tunes. Sometimes Grasshopper played frightening music. Then he would hop around in a dramatic way. That's when he caused accidents. Sounds like he's clumsy, guys. That might be something that we could add to our traits section of our chart. And even if you look at this illustration here, you could probably describe what he looks at or what he looks like. Take a moment and fill in the traits section of your pre-writing chart. All right, guys, let's keep reading. I'm on the second paragraph. One time, Grasshopper jumped into a pile of grain that Ant had spent all day collecting. The grain scattered across the landscape. You should be more careful, Grasshopper scolded Ant. I worked hard to gather that grain. Now I have to pile it up again. I'm sorry, said Grasshopper. Why not take a break? It's a beautiful sunny day. You'll have plenty of days to gather food. Sounds like Grasshopper just likes to relax. Maybe you could add that to your chart. You may think so, Grasshopper, but winter will soon be here. Then the ground will be frozen solid, said Ant. Now is the time to gather food and plan for survival. You should take a break from playing and do some work. Grasshopper said, I'll migrate to some place warm if it gets too chilly. That way I can keep on playing and singing. But for now, I'll play any song you like. Sorry. Here we go. Weeks later, fat flakes of snow began to drift from the sky. Grasshopper shivered. It was so cold that he could hardly hold his fiddle. Grasshopper looked for food, but the ground had turned into a blanket of white snow. Guys, what's the problem he's facing? Go ahead and add that to your chart. What will I do now? I can't find food, and it's too cold for me to go far. Maybe Ant will help me, thought Grasshopper. Grasshopper trudged through the snow and knocked on Ant's door. Will you give me food if I sing and play for you? Asked Grasshopper. Ant said, Yes, I will. I worked hard for the rest of the year, so now I have time to relax and have fun. So what's the solution to his problem? Go ahead and add that to your chart and pause the video. Alright, welcome back, guys. Before we take a look at our chart, let's talk about the moral or the lesson that the grasshopper learned. Remember, the moral in the lesson is not just specific to the character, but it can be applied to anybody's daily life. So what he learned is that there are times to work and times to play. I'm sure you guys know that. Now let's check our answers. You already have the traits, problem, and solution for the grasshoppers in the journey migration stories. Now let's take a look for the fable, the grasshopper and the ant. You should have that the ant is light green. He plays soft and loud songs with his fiddle. He's clumsy and always causing accidents. Under his problem, you should have that grasshopper plays music all throughout the sunny days instead of collecting food for winter like ant. And that grasshopper did not have enough food in the winter. And your solution should be that it's too cold for a grasshopper to migrate, so he makes a deal with ant. His deal is that he will play music in exchange for some of ant's food. So as you guys continue on with this assignment, you're going to take all this juicy information we have in this pre-writing chart to write a paragraph to the task. And I'll just go back and refresh your memory of what the task is. Compare and contrast the grasshoppers in the two selections. What problem do the grasshoppers share in both selections? What do they do about this problem? Use text evidence to write a paragraph about how the grasshoppers are alike and different. And if it helps you guys, you can even highlight some things that are similar. For example, the grasshoppers are both light green in the texts. That's something that's the same. You can talk about how they're loud in both of the texts. That describes their traits. You can discuss another similarity is that they don't have enough food. So do you see how I'm highlighting the things that are similar? Go ahead and write that in your paragraph and then talk about the differences. You guys got this. I can't wait to read your responses.